Colin Turner is an advisor and mentor to CEOs. He joins us now. Bob Diamond was the ugly face of capitalism in certain people's minds. He was an aggressive, hard-hitting CEO. We're talking about culture here and the reform of the culture within the banking sector. What did he do wrong?
Barclays was based on integrity. That was whole Quakers.
But integrity is about putting your customers or your clients' interests before your own. And I think where he went wrong was that he lost sight of the ball. And in fact, even today, he's saying, look, the big boys have taken the ball. Can I please have my £18 million ball back? But it's about strategy. There are three key things, actually, Guy. Three. First one, succession. To have a position like his, one of the biggest banks in the world, and not have succession in place, it's pretty dangerous. Then to leave with immediate effect is going to leave in a void. And the third thing is obviously the culture and the aftermath. The challenge I have is that he didn't resign calmly under principle. He resigned angrily under pressure. And now that vitriol is going to say to this, the city and all the rest of it, hang on a minute, it wasn't my fault. You can't say as CEO, it's not your fault, because as CEO, the buck does stop with you. You are in charge of strategy.
How will the next CEO have to do things differently?
It's interesting, because John Varley was the CEO, and his succession planning actually didn't work either, because there was almost a battle between him and Bob Diamond. Bob Diamond won that. He's been the CEO. Strategically, you must put in place a continuity of your legacy. So that's what succession is about. Most CEOs plan their things for continuity. He hasn't put that in place at all, which is very strange. It's as if to say, well, I'm here forever. I'm going to run it the way I want to run it. So I think we've got a real challenge because, in all honesty, he's tended to put around him people that are like him. So you need almost a complete change. And there's two elements, because some people say, hang on, it's too big to fail. Well, it's actually too big to succeed. So I think some of it has to be split up. And the other thing is, they say, well, you know, we need them. We can't let them go. Well, do we really? Shouldn't we be looking for a complete new culture change and get back to those values, those solid values of integrity?
What does it say about the other CEOs that Bob Diamond was the one that put his hands up, that Bob Diamond was the one that said, OK, fine, we will admit wrongdoing and we will put ourselves out in front on this one? What does it say about the other guys that haven't done that yet but are still involved in this scandal?
I think they have a misguided perception. I think they don't think they've done anything wrong. The very fact that 290 million was paid in a fine, they thought it was a technical issue, that's been paid. They don't see they've been doing something wrong because the way they have their wrists slapped. They're not aware of it. They are cocooned. And that's one of the challenges.
But they haven't done it yet. Barclays is taking all the fire on this one. Bob Diamond is the brash, ballsy CEO that comes from America, that speaks his mind. There are 12 other organizations involved in this as well. They are still fighting this story. They are effectively hiding behind Bob Diamond. He's the one that's taking the hits. He's the lightning rod.
OK, Darwinism was survival of the fittest. And there's a new term, I think, called Diamondism, which is the conniving of the figurists. Now, he has, if you like, the figurehead of it, because obviously he's the one that's been, everyone loves to hate. But the fact is that over the last, since he's CEO, 2005, he's earned 200 million with a 50 billion go down in shares. 12 billion in the last 18 months alone. Now, the other companies have been following the lead, and the piper has played its tune. I think something's going to hit the fan, and it will start coming out. But conscience isn't about, will I get found out or not, and should I put my hand up? It's about a moral compass that they shouldn't be doing the wrong thing in the first place.
OK, that's fair enough, but Diamond at least has put his hand up.
Under pressure. You see, I don't think he resigned under a matter of principle.
No, I'm not talking about the resignation. Yeah. I'm talking about the settlement of the libel case.
He put his
he put his hand up and said, we will take the fine. We will come out early on this one. We will accept responsibility. There are 12 other companies involved. They have done nothing of the sort at this stage. Now, that was a tactical miscalculation on his part because he's put himself in the firing line.
I think it's a right calculation that he actually did on his part, that he did put his hand up. OK, he's put his hand up first, but because he put his hand up, they've settled with a fine first. So strategically, he thought, hang on a minute, if I don't put my hand up, I'll get a 290 million fine and get clobbered. So if I just put my hand up, he'd already done a deal with them. It's all about negotiation. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. He'd negotiate, if I put my hand up 290 million, then I won't get done.
But the message to other CEOs must be, why bother? Why just herd mentality, stick together?
Absolutely, but the point is, it's not about why bother, it's about doing what is right thing. You see, it's about...
But he did the right thing.
He did the right thing for a negotiation. He did the right thing to negotiate to save his position at the time. He didn't know 72 hours ago that he was going to leave.
No, sure.
But because he thought, I put my hand up, I've done everything, there's a technical issue, it's sorted, now let me get on with building the business. In fact, we should really put these things behind us.
Yeah, that's certainly true. But what message does it communicate about the other CEOs that they have decided not to do that? That they're still fighting, it's the wrong word, but they haven't come forward yet and accepted any responsibility.
Because they're hoping that nothing will come to light, but it will come to light, and I think a few more heads will roll.
And that's the wrong message. That is the message they shouldn't be communicating.
Yep, and I think the thing is that there has to be a deep cultural change, and when we come to cultural change, culture is a manifestation of how people think and feel.
Yep.
And in the East, there's a lovely saying, the fish rots from the head,
yeah.
and it's endemic. Now, it's a real challenge, but the super thing about Barclays and all the other banks is that from a middle management point of view, everything is going smoothly, everything is going great, they just carry on. But I think it was much farther afield than people thought. It wasn't just a few closed doors, or I didn't know this and I didn't know that, and it was the government pushing me, it was the Bank of England pushing me. A lot of people knew. You talked to people in the street in Barclays and they knew.
Colin Turner, thank you very much indeed.